think you were president at the 82 meeting. So it's always a little bit clear, but approximately 40 years, I think, is the answer. And he was younger than me, let's just say that, so, too.
A lot younger.
Yeah, it's great. I think we're the first father-daughter to do this at AAPT. Also, we had the same PhD advisor at Cal, Professor Monosmith, and he basically got both of us involved in this organization, I would say, encouraged our participation. And when I got my PhD, Professor Monosmith invited my dad to be on the stage because I think we were the first father-daughter PhDs in civil engineering at Cal. This was a while ago, but yes, in '97, yeah. So.
And those have all been special moments, of course.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say that early in her career, she was at Texas A&M University. Really, I wasn't involved at Texas A&M University at that time. I was at the University of Nevada, Reno, or at Granite Construction Company. So she cut her own path through the university and with the sponsoring agencies at that time. And then we've been fortunate enough the last 10 plus years to work together on some projects. And actually it took us several years to find some projects that we could work together on.
Right. So I think that was the key, is that, yes, it's not easy to be his daughter in this industry. But we've gotten back together after I established my career. I think it was the perfect timing to be able to come back together and work together. And, you know, I think it's one of those things where I don't even know that we know what we have. It's great, and it's just the way that we are. And so we know a lot of the same people. We know the challenges. We know celebrate the good things, and, you know, work through the challenges together. And that's really, it's great. It's really great.
I'm sure 20 years from now or 30 years from now, I'll look back and say, boy, that was great. And it is great right now. But you don't really appreciate it, like Amy said, until you're probably further in your career.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, we have slightly different styles, but I think we work good together. Like yeah, would you say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many projects do you have currently together where you're either the co-principal investigator or principal investigator, would you say?
Well, the big one that we have is the TxDOT BMD initiative, implementation initiative, and that takes up a lot of our combined time. We did work on a few NCHRPs together as well. Those are completed NCHRP projects. So basically just TxDOT BMD, is that right?
That's true, and I was just a minor player on the National Cooperative Highway Research Program efforts.
But, you know, when we get to go to meetings together in Texas and elsewhere, that's also pretty great. And we've done that pretty much my whole career. My whole career we've, you know, gone to meetings together, and that's been fun. And, you know, you set the bar high, let's just say that. But in a good way. I mean, I don't know how to do any other job. So I definitely followed in your footsteps from the perspective of where I went to school, where I got my first job. But now I've been at A&M for 26 years, which I think blows your mind a lot, right?
It does.
Because he was only there for 14 years, and then at UNR for 17 years, I think. So I've been at one place longer, I guess. That's the point, I guess. That's true. So, well, I have 3 boys, and one's in college in mechanical engineering at Texas A&M, and 2 more are just got accepted to Texas A&M, and they want to study engineering. We're not sure what type of engineering, so I don't know if they're going to end up being in our field. But I think they will end up being engineers in some ways. But of course, they're not Eppses. So if I could only go to one trip per year, I would want to come here. So I want that to always be the case, where this is where we come. This is where we all come. I'm excited that we're trying to get more industry involvement. I think that's a really good thing, and I've been excited that we've expanded, so there's so many more people involved. I think that's really, really helped the health of the organization and also spread the load. You know, I think back in your day, it was more, the board was just a workhorse for a couple meetings, long meetings a year. And now it's just different. It's more of a year-long thing that's going on, and we still have, the annual meeting is still the focus event. I don't want to say that that's not true, and I think that should be true because we all like to come together even in today's world, I think there's still a place for coming together. But I still want to hopefully maintain that technical, maintain the technical content of the annual meeting, and get to see all your friends. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And also bringing the next generation on and encouraging them to hopefully get that same feeling that I had and that you had. Yeah?
Yeah, I think my answer was very similar in terms of making sure that AAPT is the technical sounding board for our profession. And I use the word diversity both technically and certainly from a social point of view. And we need to maintain those things from a technical point of view. I mentioned that we would have to we need to include people outside of the asphalt industry to some degree in the proceedings of our organization. And how we do that needs to be determined.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny that you asked that. So I think we both have, a lot of times you get some traits from your parents, you get some traits from your PhD advisor. Sometimes the good traits, sometimes the bad traits, right? We're both professional worriers. So, but I think some of the traits that we got from our PhD advisor are to be prepared, to be knowledgeable, and to be humble. And I think that makes us approachable. And so I hope that makes it so people, want to, and I think that we see people, everybody as just real people, just like us, and with faults and good things about them, positive aspects. And so I think, I always joke that, half of his job is, emotional support for Amy Epps Martin, but it's all life. And so we all we can't do everything, but we try to do as much as we can and have an impact. Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, I think so. It's very accurate. I think you depend on each other for technical content, but also life lessons too. Your sons and daughters teach you lessons that you had no idea you were going to learn. Yeah. And hopefully it's going to be vice versa too. The best you can do with sons and daughters, I think, is to give them a foundation to make their own decisions from and make good decisions in that process. And if you can do that, you're a winner as a parent.
But also you have to be there when they need you.
That's true. Absolutely.
And then you're definitely there for me.
The next generation coming along understand the history of the profession.
Yeah.
Attack details. Details are big things that you have to take care of and look after, and be involved in supporting the profession and your co-workers. And don't be afraid to be a mentor.
So you mentioned humble. That's a word that a lot of people use to describe both of you. Do you think that came from Dr. Carl Monismith?
I do.
I think so too. I think my parents had some of those traits too, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, and I basically only had his parents as my grandparents growing up. So that, yeah, definitely trickles down, I guess.